Act, Chapter 231, Public Law of 1975. The meeting was notice sent to the Asbury Park Press on June 27, 2023, and has been duly advertised in the Asbury Park Press on June 30th, 2023. All municipal clerks in the township, the boroughs within the regional high school district have been duly noticed, and requirements for this posting was met on June 27, 2023. I can't see a thing up there, so bear with me. Please rise and pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can you please continue to rise? We're going to have a moment of silence.
Freehold Regional High School District lost a special member and teacher of our school community on February 28th. Carolyn Hart started in the district in September of 1998. Carolyn Hart was a social studies and psychology teacher at Marlboro High School. If anybody knew her, she had the first classroom on the first floor when you walked in on the left-hand side, always beaming with a smile and ready to greet and engage her students. She was involved in the Brookdale Community College dual enrollment program, and she was a member of the first cohort of our Aspiring Administrators Academy. She served our students and families for over 25 years. She will be missed by our staff and our administrators, and mostly our students and also our alumni. We send our condolences to Miss Carolyn Hart's family and her daughter. Freehold Regional High School District also recently lost a colleague and a friend to our district. Dr. Rocco Tomazic, he was the former superintendent of the Freehold Borough Schools, a fierce advocate for public education for students and families. He's also, prior to coming to Freehold as superintendent, he served as superintendent in the Linden Public Schools, and he continued his work even while retired from Freehold superintendency. He was the Monmouth County interim sup. He went back to the Linden Public Schools as an interim, and also, really up until recently was serving in Freehold Borough as an interim superintendent. He did tremendous advocacy work across this state and across the Monmouth County community. He was involved in an initiative with Freehold Regional High School District where new Taipei educators would engage with our staff here in the Freehold Regional High School District. There was also a scholarship in his name to a female and male student, each school year. His family is intricately involved with that scholarship as well. Dr. Tomazic's daughter, Marianne Tomazic, was a former board member and served for the Freehold Regional High School District. Again, our condolences to the Tomazic family. Two of Dr. Tomazic's grandchildren attend our schools, and we are very sorry for their loss. So I just want to take a moment, just to bow our heads for a moment, for the Hart family and also for Dr. Tomazic's family. Thank you. Please be seated.
Mrs. Stano, any changes to the agenda?
No, Mr. President.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the February 8th Board of Education meeting?
Motion. Second.
Mrs. Lavin.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Asantola,
Yes.
Mrs. Bruno,
Yes.
Mrs. Cappiello,
Yes.
Mrs. Higley,
Yes.
Mrs. Lavin,
Yes.
Mrs. Cobb,
Yes.
Mr. Parisi,
Yes.
Mr. Messinger,
Yes.
Mr. Bruno.
Yes. Communications are on file with the board secretary. Now we're going to have the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Bruno. Good evening, everyone. Just wanted to inform our community. We finished with our New Jersey GPA testing. That is the state graduation assessment for juniors. Really outstanding work across the district with our administrators and supervisors and teachers for supporting such a successful administration. So thank you. And we know our students did really well. Also, we had a tremendous winter athletic season. We are excited. I'm excited as superintendent to share with the Board of Education the recognition of all of our athletes and our coaches from the winter season. We really had just some exemplary achievements with our student athletes this season. So we're looking forward to that. That'll be at our May board meeting at Marlborough High School. Also on this agenda, this is bittersweet for me, bitter, I think, for me. We see the retirement of Mr. Sean Boyce. Mr. Boyce is our business administrator. I'm going to show your hand there. Everybody knows him. Started in the district in 2007 and has been serving our district for over 17 years. Did tremendous work during some very, very difficult times during, as all of you know, the S2 cuts that we're in our final year of, and really kind of stabilizing and maintaining so many of our excellent programs that we have within this district. I don't know if we could have done it without him. Our future is still a little unsettled. We will continue to work through that. I know he will shepherd us. He is here with us till
10 months.
Yes, we have a long time till December of 24. But really, on behalf of myself, the Board of Education, our entire community, we really thank you for your service. There's still time to, reconsider. But we wish you, all the best in your retirement. We're going to have plenty of celebrations, with you as the time moves forward. But really an exciting time for you in your life.
Thank you, Dr. Hayes.
You're still very young.
For our community, this is the last budget year with S2. Fiscal year 25 budget really has been the most challenging since S2 began in 2019. Like I said, Mr. Boyce has really steered the ship and has shepherded us through the storm. We've had a cumulative impact of $97 million of a loss in state aid over those 7 years. You say, how did we make it through? And how are we still here? And, we've had impact, but not tremendous impact as it has come to our students and our program. And that is, preparation is everything. And being able to maintain a budget that has, the appropriations and the surplus to handle difficult times. And that's what we had here in Freehold Regional High School District. We're all very lucky that we had all of those protections in place within our budget. We did sustain, major, cuts in areas, but, we have weathered the storm. We hope today, Mr. Boyce and I attended the budget hearing in Trenton. The existing funding formula is from 2008. At this juncture, all superintendents across the state and Board of Educations are, advocating for a modernized funding formula that allows us to provide a thorough and efficient education for our students. In many places like ours, S2 has created fiscal volatility, uncertainty for districts in our district and across the state. My hope, and obviously we will be monitoring this very, very closely, is that the funding formula is changed and it supports our district as well as all of the New Jersey school districts. The state aid reductions that we did face, have lasting impacts for us. We have been lucky, through staff attrition and through complete oversight of our budget, have been able to make, cuts that really haven't impacted us at the student, level. We dealt with, a lot of issues in the past, last school year with, the potential of courtesy busing, which, the state came in and restored. I don't know what the future holds, but I do know this is a district that is always prepared, will continue to be prepared, and we will work through whatever challenges we have, as a community. And first and foremost, always, doing what's right and in the best interest of the students and the folks that we serve here in the Freehold Regional High School District. I'm going to ask Mr. Boyce if I know we're approving our tentative budget for fiscal year 25 this evening. If you have any comments.
Yeah, so board, as you know, procedurally, how this works is that the board approves a tentative budget that's submitted to the Monmouth County Office of the Department of Education for a technical review. And once it passes muster with that, through that process, there's a public hearing on the budget, and that's where the budget will be presented to the community and the board, the final budget, and put up for resolution for adoption from the board. So that meeting is April 25th. It's at central office in Englishtown, and that's where a lot of that information will be shared with the community. Now, as Dr. Hazel mentioned, S2, which is a piece of legislation that sought to redistribute state aid in accordance with the funding formula as it was run each year, did cost this district many years of severe cuts. And the result of that is that Freehold Regional is $20 million below what's called an adequacy budget, right? And that's the state's calculation on a district-by-district basis based on actual student enrollment in each district. What is the adequate amount of money necessary to provide a thorough and efficient education? We have been tens of millions of dollars below that adequacy number for multiple years, and the budget being put forth tonight and ultimately on April 25th maintains that distinction of being considerably below what the state has determined is the adequate amount of money, or the necessary amount of money for the district. So within that challenge, and as a result of that, as you would imagine, is that when you look at the financial information that's released by the state on comparative costs per pupil, and a lot of financial information that's available on the DOE website, Freehold Regional is the lowest spending district in Monmouth County. There are 50-some districts in Monmouth County. The interesting part of that is that, according to the formula, which also makes sense, high school students are more expensive than middle school students, who are more expensive than elementary school students. So, for a district which is all high school students to be the lowest spending district in the county, something's not where it should be there, and that goes back to us being $20 million below adequacy. So we're making our way through this budget, and at the board, as I said, the final will be presented at the public hearing on April 25th. The resolution board is in front of you. There's also a stack on the back of the table. It's included on the agenda for tonight's approval.
Thank you. Anything else you'd like to add?
Thank you.
I do want to remind everybody that the college fair is next Thursday night at the Nowkin. It's always a big event, and I believe it starts at 5. 6. 6.
Dinner for the board.
There's dinner early.
Yeah.
So, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. Okay. We do not have any board reports tonight. Mr. Boyce, are there any changes to the agenda?
There are. So as I just noted, The pre-printed agenda has a resolution for the adoption of the tentative budget. The body of that resolution is on the back table. Copies for the community and board, you have them at your table. Also, similarly, H1 for budget transfers, same deal, board, you have that at your table. There's also copies in the back. In addition to that, there are two existing resolutions that we are adding some names to. So I will touch on that now. G11, approval of 6th period teaching assignments. Again, there's a yellow sheet on the back table for the community, but we're adding 6 names that are included on that handout. And in G12, approval of substitutes, home instruction personnel, there's an additional name included on that sheet. So the agenda as amended would be offered to me.
Great, thank you. Board members have any questions at all? Okay. We're going to move, we have someone who would like to speak. Mrs. McCabe, how are you?
Okay.
Yes, come right there.
I'm Alice McCobb, Chairman of the Freehold Memorial Day Parade Committee. On behalf of the Memorial Day Parade, I am here to see if the Board of Education for the Regional District would like to partake in the Freehold's 150th Anniversary Parade on May 27th as a unit representing the surrounding towns and obviously Freehold Borough. I lost my mic, but I have a big mouth, so you can hear me. So that we can yeah, that's the word. More units and show the community some of the Board of Education's out there and what they do for the community that don't make meetings. So if you're interested, you can fill out an application, get it back, and march or ride in a float, whatever you want to do, as the Board of Education for the Freehold Regional District. Thank you.
And that's a 9 o'clock start for that parade, right?
It starts at 10.
It's a 10 o'clock start.
It's a 10 o'clock start.
We go every year.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You're
thank you
welcome.
very much.
100 years now?
150.
150 years. Amazing. Okay, we're going to take this agenda. May I have a motion to approve G1 through G14?
Motion.
Second.
Strasatola, second was,
That's under personnel and negotiations. That's G1 through G14.
I raise issue with G2 in terms of Mr. Boyce, but I'll approve anyway.
Me too. I'm not done with him yet. Go ahead. Discussion? Not hearing discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Asatola?
Yes.
Mrs. Bruno?
Yes.
Mrs. Capiello?
Yes.
Mrs. Higley?
Yes, except I abstain on G2 pertaining to Mr. Boyce, and on G7 to Joanne Becker and Matthew Coulson.
Mrs. Lavin?
Maybe not. No, yes.
Ms. McCobb?
If I must, reluctantly, yes.
Mr. Parisi?
yes.
Mr. Messinger?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
May I have a motion to take H1 through I6, programs, operations, building, transportation, and physical plant?
Second.
Mrs. Capiello,
Any discussion, board? Not hearing any discussion, motion please.
Mr. Asatola?
Yes.
Mrs. Bruno?
Yes.
Mrs. Capiello?
Yes.
Mrs. Higley?
Yes,
Mrs. Lavin?
Yes.
Ms. McCobb?
Yes.
Mr. Parisi?
yes.
Mr. Messinger?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes. May I have a motion to approve educational programs and administration?
Moved.
Second.
J1 through K1. I've heard Mrs. Capriello for the first,
No,
No,
Cobb
this is
first.
Cobb.
Mrs. McCobb first, and Mrs.
And Higley
Higley for the second. Any discussion? Not hearing any discussion, I'll have a roll call, please.
Mr. Asatola?
Yes.
Mrs. Bruno?
Yes.
Mrs. Capiello?
Yes.
Mrs. Higley?
Yes.
Mrs. Lavin?
Yes.
Ms. McCobb?
Yes.
Mr. Parisi?
Yes, and thank you for your work on the budget.
Mr. Messinger?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes. And now we're up to old business. Any board members have old business they'd like to discuss? Any board member would like to discuss new business?
Yes, Mr. Bruno, if I could. Sean, you've been driving me crazy since day one. You still do right to the end, and I'm gonna hate it when you're gone. That's my old
Yeah.
business.
That's right.
And you have something?
I do as well. First of all, Mr. Boyce, I'm glad we have you for quite a long while yet. I reluctantly, but I also know you have some grandchildren you'd like to spend more time with, so all for that. I'd also like to congratulate Mrs. Kimberly Cook at Fairfield High School on her retirement at the end of this school year. I bugged her quite a bit in the nurses and attendance office throughout my tenure at the borough. I would like to congratulate the Fairfield Borough Drama Club on their production of Little Women. I had a chance to see it week before last. It was absolutely phenomenal. And I also want to take a moment, if I may, to talk about the Fairfield Borough boys basketball team. First of all, congratulations to them on winning the Central Jersey Group 3 sectional championship and making it to the state final. Although the result was not what we wanted, that is an accomplishment in itself. I had the pleasure of attending the final 3 games, and I was struck by the outpouring of support across the Fairfield Borough community. At the final, 2/3 of the gym down in Toms River was there to support the borough. I think they could hear us all the way down to the shore. So I saw my own classmates and those that followed me, varsity jackets from the 80s and the 90s, and former players from Coach Kunert's teams of the 1970s and beyond. The togetherness and community spirit that I felt in the borough that was fully inspired by these young men was absolutely incredible, and definitely something to be proud of. Because especially in these times, being able to bring an entire community together of one mind is a feat to equal any honor or trophy, and made me incredibly proud to don the blue and gold and to show my own borough pride over the last several weeks. So it was really, really fantastic.
Congratulations to the administration there at the high school there.
The young men represented us extremely well. Those were exciting games.
I had the opportunity to go to see Hal High School production, Shrek. I had no clue what the heck I was going to see, not having children that age. I walked in, packed house, people had these grand ears. I was like, what am I gonna see here tonight? And the director, she says, by the end of Act 1, you'll get it, you'll understand it. So it was a great show, and congratulations, it's another great production. And congratulations to the girls basketball team at Howell High School. They won their first Central Jersey Championships. Probably the day before Freehold High School won theirs, so congratulations to them. And in May, we're going to be honoring our winter and spring athletes.
Dr. Hazel, wasn't it Manalapan hockey
The
team?
hockey.
Yes.
Also
I was
won.
gonna say that.
Yeah.
We had my,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It was a great couple of weeks for Freehold Regional Sports.
And
There's
Manalapan's
so
hockey
much
team,
more.
they,
And there's so much
yeah,
more.
Manalapan's
Yeah.
hockey team made it all the way to the finals, which is a big deal.
And you wanna talk
Yeah,
about
the
pride, you
production
should have saw them at the train station, at the bus station, and they were all up at the Prudential Center, it was amazing.
Okay, any other board members like to share? No? Okay. May I have
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Yeah. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Yes.
I hear Mr. Cobb.
Second was Mrs. Capiello.
And all those in favor?